Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com and welcome to this week's episode of The Dog Pound, where I will be recapping all of the latest news from the mobile technology world, starting with Google. So Google pretty much dominated the headlines last week, and for good reason. They announced Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, the Google Nexus 7, the Nexus Q, and they talked about Project Glass. Now Android 4.1, it brings a lot of improvements to Android. It's not a huge update, but it still has some pretty cool features. One of the first things that Google talked about was Project Butter, which aims to make Android smoother and faster. And if you watch videos of hands-on time with the Nexus 7 or of Android 4.1, it really is very smooth, very fast. That lag that we've seen before in other versions of Android or with other Android phones is completely gone. It is extremely smooth. So definitely kudos to Google for doing that. There's also some improvements to the camera and the notification panel, so now similar items are grouped together, but you can expand them to see more details about that notification, or if it's something like a message or an email, you'll be able to see the first few sentences of the message, and you can even interact with the notification. So if it was a missed call, you can select it and either call the person back or send them a message all right there from the notification panel. Google also made some improvements to its voice function, and they added a new feature called Google Now. So all you have to do is tap the home button and then drag up, and Google Now will bring up cards with information based on things that you have done recently with your phone. For example, Google Now can read your calendar and see if you have any appointments, and then when you bring up Google Now, it'll show you information on the location, like the weather. It'll tell you directions on how to get there, when you should leave to make sure you get there on time, and other information. Also, if you do a lot of searches for a particular sports team, when you bring up Google Now, it will go through your searches and see that's your favorite team, and then bring up scores for the games by that team. It can also bring up information based on your location, for example, coupons for a restaurant that you're at, and lots of other things. Google Now sounds really cool, and I'm really excited to get a chance to use it. Now the Nexus 7 is the first Nexus tablet we'll see, and it is a pretty awesome tablet. It has a 7-inch HD display, a quad-core processor, a front-facing camera, and it will of course ship with Android 4.1. But the kicker is that it will only cost $200 for the 8GB model. That is a great price for a tablet like this. If you want to see more of the Nexus 7, Aaron has a hands-on video, and he's also posted his review. So not only will you get to see his thoughts on the Nexus 7, but you'll also get to see a more in-depth look at Android 4.1. Now, if you're wondering when your device will get Android 4.1, we don't have any details yet. Samsung and HTC have both made comments saying that they're looking at their devices and they're planning a schedule for release to see which ones can handle it and when they'll be putting those out. We will definitely let you know whenever we get more details on when specific devices will be getting the update. However, we do know that the Galaxy Nexus and the Nexus S will both be getting Android 4.1. Samsung has confirmed that. So that's just a quick recap of Android 4.1, but be sure and check out PhoneDog.com for an even more detailed look at it, and let me know what you think of Jelly Bean in the comments. Are you excited? Is there a new feature that's your favorite feature? What do you think of Google Now? Leave your comments in the comment section below. So now let's move on from some really good news to some really bad news. Apple has won a preliminary injunction against the Samsung Galaxy Nexus in the US. This is based on one patent that has to do with multi-source searching, which is basically like Siri, where you can search through multiple areas and multiple sources from one interface. Now, Samsung has since appealed this ruling. We're not sure what's going to happen or what this could mean for Samsung's entire case, but we will definitely keep you guys updated as we hear more reports on this ongoing legal battle. If you're on T-Mobile and you have been anxiously awaiting the arrival of the Galaxy Note, then you may have to wait a little bit longer. We originally thought that it would be launching on July 11th, but recently some documents were leaked to T-Mo News that show that it could be delayed until August 8th, which is a little more than a month away. So it's a little bit longer to wait, but at least we have a release date and we know that it is coming. So keep on PhoneDog. We'll let you know if anything changes with that. Now, one phone that you don't have to wait very long for is the HTC Droid Incredible 4G LTE. We finally have a release date, July 5th, which is in just a couple of days. It'll be hitting Verizon for $149 on contract, which is actually a pretty good price for a phone like this. The Incredible 4G LTE will have a 4-inch Super LCD display, a dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor, and of course 4G LTE connectivity. Not a bad price, $149 for all of that. So again, July 5th, head to your Verizon stores to check that one out. Okay, so here's some more bad news, but only for you BlackBerry fans or anyone who is looking forward to BlackBerry 10. RIM recently released its quarterly figures, and among all of the news, they let us know that BlackBerry 10 devices have been delayed until the first quarter of 2013. We originally heard that these BlackBerry 10 devices will be coming by the end of 2012, but now we know that we're going to have to wait a couple of more months for those phones. This is definitely disappointing. It's just that much longer that we have to wait, that much longer that RIM is going to be struggling, and who knows what the market will be like. Will these devices still be able to compete? This brings up a whole lot of questions and problems, but the bottom line is that it just really just sucks that we're going to have to wait even longer for these phones. So that's the news. Quarter 1 2013 for BlackBerry 10 devices. We'll let you know if we hear any solid information about these phones, but for now, I'm sorry BlackBerry fans, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So that's the news, and that is the show. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep on phonedog.com for more news, updates, and reviews. I'm Sydney, and I will see you guys later. Bye.